Welcome to AbilityMKE Now. My name is Sue Scoff, and here at AbilityMKE Now, we are a show all about integration, bringing people with disabilities and people that don't have a disability together, enjoying life here in the Milwaukee area. We all have different abilities. Here at AbilityMKE Now, speak of diverse abilities. The concept of disability hits a wide range of possibilities. We could be talking about physical or mental disabilities, the deaf and hard of hearing community, blindness, chronic pain, mental health diagnosis, goals of substance use reduction, and the list goes on. We all have our own experience with disability, whether it's or with people we know or with people we encounter in our daily lives. Here at AbilityMKE Now, we break down the barriers and celebrate. Tonight is an interesting catch-up that we are doing here with MKE Now, and actually with Kurt and I work a lot in the concept of World of Ability. And within World of Ability, we are doing a lot of different podcasts, have different groups that we're working with, and I thought this might be a good time to share a little bit more about what those all are and what they're all about, because we don't want to be a secret. We want to make sure that there are resources, there's informational pieces out there that really is for everybody. So I just do take a moment and walk through a week so that it's and actually see what's all happening and what's being, because our first show that we have is on Sundays. Now, sometimes obviously I'm giving it Milwaukee time, Central Time Zone. So we do have a friend, Tim Terosian, that does blue collar Christian. Actually is along the lines of blue collar workers. What kinds of things can people do? What maybe employment things that they haven't thought of before, or topics that really are valid and pertinent for blue collar workers. Trying to get ahead, trying to figure out options, different things that maybe people haven't considered. So that we do again on Sundays at 4 and 6 o'clock Central. On Monday nights is near and dear to my heart. Is a veterans organization. Gosh, you are all with, I don't know if you would be, but if you're familiar at all with suicide statistics, it is absolutely mind-bending to think of how many of those losing their life to suicide actually are in the veteran. It's something that that I believe it's approximately 5% of our population in the United States are military folks, whether they're veterans, active military. That's just 5% of the population, but more than 50% of those that lose their life to suicide are veterans. So obviously that's incredibly out of whack. It doesn't work. Not okay. So that's Die Hard comes in. They are a source of hope. They are a source. They are here to make a difference and to be sure to do all the things that need to be done. So that changes, because it has to. Personally, I actually am an ambassador for that organization, Kurt is as well. And one of the things for them is on Monday nights. We have, so the shorthand for that. So we do a PDH mission on what's happened in the last week, all the news that's coming up. We bring guests in and we interview them. And it's all about partnerships and people. How can we help to grow a resource, or what can we do to forward the mission of Project Die Hard? And again, it is important. It means a lot. And the number of times, so founder of this organization, he is a veteran. He's got so many great stories. He's got a very rough background. Say he was a medic for more than, I believe it was around 20 years. I want to say it was more than, I'd have to get an exact number, but for a very long time, he was a medic for the Army, and he has seen a lot. He has been through a lot. And to hear where he has been and to know what he's gone through, at least a snippet of what he's gone through, and to be in the position he is now where he has Project Die Hard because he understands what is going on there. And I mean, veterans come back, they have a variety of needs, right? It could be as simple as just that transition to civilian life, because, okay, I said simple. That is not simple. You go from being active duty to being average Joe Schmo out here in the world. That's huge. And if you don't get the help you need to make the transitions, what are you gonna do? It is a big bridge show is women, but I'm not sure that's just with women, but for sure women who have been autism later in life and to challenges stuff with that, and that whole situation being later diagnosed. And bridge podcast, so she's creating bridges between have the challenge have with autism and the rest of the world. It's really, how do we bridge that gap? Because there's something there, right? There's some communication, there's different pieces that would be helpful for both sides of that bridge to be able to past whatever that is like a communication breakdown or whatever. Is somebody who is, that's at 11 o'clock on Tuesday evenings at 8 a.m. A good friend of ours, Miss Debbie Hayes, has World of Pets podcast. She's an amazing lady that we've known for quite some time, and has been, I believe she's been on here with us as well. And I love what she's doing. She said she has found her calling by having this podcast now that we helped her get started just a couple a few short months ago, and it's been amazing. Wednesdays we have at 10 a.m. the Mastery Action Show with Alan Holmes, who often is joining us here on this show. So y'all know him. He's amazing. He is human Rolodex. The man knows it all. Obviously, Wednesday nights, it's us. We're here with AbilityMKE Now at live at 7:30 p.m. on Wednesdays. And then we skip ahead to Friday. So Thursday's got a little bit of a gap going on there. I'm not sure what's going on with our Thursdays. Thursday is the only day that we don't have anything on a weekly basis. Fridays at 3 p.m. we have Let's Be Trees. We will talk more about that, and then we can get Sherry on here to share more. 4 o'clock we have In the Know, talking about No Card. On Saturdays, World Ability is every Saturday from 1 to 3.
And yeah, sorry, I do not have we're on radio, so all
good. So glad you're here. What is new in the world of Denise?
Oh my God, so much fun. I have been involved in so many great organizations. We are ready to produce this amazing TV show. It's going to be so much fun. You know, when you get into something just when it's starting and you're really helping to sit and create it, and then when you see it come to life, it's like you really feel like, oh my God, this is my baby. Something that I've always loved is the part of something big, and production is going right now.
Tell us a little more. What is this? What is it that you're talking about?
Well, it's called Treasure Island. It's kind of like it's Survivor meets The Amazing Race and Big Brother. It's like a little bit of everything with social influencers. So imagine us being able to communicate with those social influencers, and then they're our products. I mean, how awesome is that? Like we all like to, but we don't like to be sold to unless it's someone who's a real influencer. Then you're like, oh yeah, I want.
I even hear from my friends, my family. It's like, oh, well, I saw this thing on TikTok. I saw it on that. It's a thing. I need this, and it's absolutely, in my mind, it's kind of crazy how viral things go and how quickly that happens. Where something that we've never heard of all of a sudden is a thing that everybody needs to be in the middle of, and this. So that's where I'm looking at what Treasure Island is, and you're right. I think they have an amazing sweet spot in what I know they are currently have informational presentations. I think, well, that's what they're calling it, because it really is. That's the website. It is Treasure Island Presentation.com. Informational sessions on Tuesday and Thursday nights at 8 p.m. Central. Just for the next few weeks here, and then they are in the midst of putting all the pieces together to happen. And I finally got to get in on one of the presentations last week. There is so much more going on there than I even had an inkling to. That is going to be a lot of fun to watch, a lot of fun to follow, and there are ways to to actually be part of it, for us to be part of it. So that is going to be uh, a new twist on something that we're kind of familiar with. Totally new twist on it. So I'm so excited to see where this goes.
Oh, absolutely. And again, it's so funny. You mentioned that the family members or friends tell us about something. We might be pay a little attention to it, but let it be a social influencer that's a million followers. And even if you don't need it, you want it, right? Like, oh my God, I have to have it. Don't know what I'm doing with it, but I have to have it.
And that's how it works.
Absolutely.
It is amazing. And now I do have a question for you from the Happy Neighborhood Project, and which I think how just go back like that we've first met.
Absolutely. So the project, when I came to the pandemic, it was 2020. Then I started finding out about the Happy Neighborhood Project, started going there, met a bunch of amazing people. Of course, and you and Emily and so many amazing people on HMP. So yeah, it's been 4 years.
It's awesome. And now they actually are starting a different platform. They had been utilizing Zoom for a long time, and now there's using a different platform, which I'm really starting to like it a lot now that I'm very much in the Zoom space for so long. Change is hard, right? So switching this other platform is called Go Brunch. So brunch, like, combine the word breakfast and lunch, brunch, gobrunch.com. And then that platform has been a lot of fun to get used to and to see how it works. And what's your impression been? Because I like it.
So what I like about Go Brunch is that you can actually design your background anywhere. And I don't mean like, when we have our own background on Zoom, which is great, right? We all love our Zoom background, but you can actually design the whole screen. So your whole desktop, when you open it up, if you want to be sitting in a cafe or at a beach or wherever you want to be sitting on, to your liking. And I love Canva. You can do this in Canva. So how?
Okay, now I'm excited for another thing because I didn't know you could do that. Since we've had this little bit of hiatus with Happy Neighborhood Project, where we did a month or so. Now getting back into it, I'm hoping we can start good following again with that because it's going to be great. And I, again, today met some new people to get that chance. And when I think about the disability community, if I want to, that's, I feel weird using that terminology, but it's, you understand, there's a lot of people that are at home and aren't going to be a job or driving to, they have to, but a lot. I even think back like during the pandemic, obviously, and suddenly we all figured out how to get online and be active with.
Yeah.
I really think there was massive value in that, showing people how small this is and how easy it is to reach out. I think about Project Die Hard. I was talking about them earlier in the show, and what huge with the whole concept of suicide, and people need to find hope somewhere. And I look at something like this, and it's so easy to be able to reach out and interact with people. Sometimes that's all it needs to be to make that difference, is to be able to have somebody that you know that, hey, I know we meet every week. I'll see you next week. Looking forward to seeing you next week. You're going to meet some new fun, easy way to connect. I mean, what do you think about that?
Oh my gosh, for sure. And what's great about Pro do not need to register. So, for example, tomorrow we are actually having our event, and yeah, anybody can go. It's free to come, and again, it's just so easy to get there and meet and the relationships that we build when we're networking, they really turn into friendships. And what's important about that is that we all know that we do business with those that we know, like, and trust. We don't want to be anyone that we don't know, like, and trust, right? Because we don't want any, we don't want to leave a bad taste in anyone's mouth, right? We want to make sure that we are recommending people that we know that we would work with, right? Because we've built that relationship. We know them, we like them, we trust them, and that's why we are recommending them to someone else that we know, like, and trust, right? So yeah, it's really about building relationships, not getting the business. That will come eventually. Build the relationship first.
And we've had people that come and are, even those that are looking for employment. We have, even coming just to check things out. It's a fun place to meet people from around the globe, and that really, I do feel that I have friends literally around the world. If you asked me a couple of years ago if I ever thought I'd be saying that, I would have been laughing like, yeah, how am I getting, how does that happen? Well, now
Your choice. Become empowered, and that is the making of a very happy life. So,
and the thing that, even whether we have a disability or not, we all strive for finding that tipping point of where we become independent and reliant, and we can take care of ourselves. We can take care of our life, to living on their own sometime in the relatively near future, they're getting a job. All those things, whether we have a disability or not, are hurdles that I want to call it a hurdle. It's just another piece of life. And sometimes those pieces can seem overwhelming, but it all depends on how you look at it. Is it something that's overwhelming and difficult and all that, or is it the next thing I need to figure out?
You know, yeah, for sure. And I always tell people we all have challenges. My challenge is a physical challenge, but you could be a single mom. That's a challenge, right? You could be transitioning from one job to another. That's a challenge. I mean, there's just so many things in life that will be thrown at us, but it's how we react to it. Are we going to give up, or are we going to face that challenge and figure out a way to get around it? I am very light to use the word overcome because I don't necessarily feel that you're over. It's just working through it to get to where you want to.
I love that because it is so much attitude within ourselves. And do I have the skills and do the thing that I'm looking to do, or do I need to do some work on myself to learn those? Something as simple. I mean, I can oversimplify this, or I can make it more difficult. I'm thinking of several different examples. I know somebody very close to me who wants to get a driver's license soon. Well, there are a lot of steps to go through between learning all the skills and then actually, learning the book knowledge, and then there's actual, driving. There are a lot of hoops to go through and a lot of things to learn, and it's kind of stressful, right?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. That life will throw at you. Then how are you going to react? Are you going to let you, or are you going to get to where you want to get by again, figure out a way of tweaking it, get creative. And if you need to ask for help, ask for help. Don't be too proud. We all need it. Doesn't matter who we are, whether we need to learn to know when to ask for and not worry about feeling less than or weak in someone else's eyes. In actuality, those that ask for help are way stronger than those who do not ask for help, and will get further in life.
I totally agree. That is something, again, going back to that theme with Project Die Hard that we say, that I've heard, that I say, that others say. It's like, it's okay to not be okay. We all get to that point in whatever's going on in our worlds. We all have moments where we're okay, right? But that's okay. That's when reach out, find the resources around, talk to people. It's okay. Nobody's gonna sit back and be like, oh, you're less because you. Oh, wait, this it. Somebody asked me for help in anything like that. I am so there, and I think most everybody around would be saying the same thing. So I hope that is something that sink into people and know that people are generally there for you when you need them. You just sometimes need to take that moment to reach out. So, Diva, thank you so much for being here tonight. Emily, same with you. As always, to everybody.